shocked to see this because as some of you may know, I've been really pushing the Marvel Legends, the Kenner Marvel Legends specifically, which you have to specify that because Marvel Legends is such a huge toy line and everything like that. I've been really pushing the Kenner Marvel Legends because I like the retro styling. Basically it's like having a Star Wars figure, but it's a Marvel character, and also the price point. You can pick these up, in the wild at a store for $10. And you really can't beat that right now. Even Star Wars action figures like the retro line, they're like $12 or $13. I think like $12.99 actually. So, and they're the same type of figure, same plastic and all that stuff. So this is from Wave 4. This is like kind of breaking news. Wave 4. This is from a site called Preternia. So I want to give them credit. I could not confirm this, but going to the actual Hasbro Pulse website. I tried to find these on the website and I couldn't, but these images are amazing. So again, this is the wave 4 of this line. So right off the bat, we have this really nice stealth Iron Man. Okay. Which I think is kind of a no-brainer because they can use the same mold as the Iron Man, for instance, that I own, that I showed on the previous show. So it kind of makes sense that they would make some variations of existing figures and existing molds. But I do like this, even though I'm not really familiar with the stealth armor. I do like this. Are you very familiar? I'm sure you are, Dave. Are you familiar with the stealth armor version of Iron Man?
I know he's had just about every version of armor, under the sun. So, and I think I remember there being a stealth, like specifically a stealth armor. I mean, the coloring looks about right.
I like it. I think it's really kind of cool. Even though I like the very classic comic book one, and that's the one that I own in my personal collection right now. I do like this variation, and it does make sense to me. It's a no-brainer to do variations of Iron Man when you already have the mold anyway. But this is really cool. I think you would be looking forward to this. They're doing Silver Surfer, and he actually comes with a board.
Oh, that's cool.
Which that's one of the
really cool.
Line is that a lot of the figures do not come with accessories, but this one does. This one comes with the board. I think my brother would really like this because my brother was really into Silver Surfer at one time. But it's got the classic artwork for the card back and everything, and this is really cool. I think this is a really neat figure. I think this is going to be a popular one.
For sure, I totally agree. That's cool. And then, did I see it looked like the same one? They've got a U.S. agent.
That's the one I actually thought you would be most excited about. So this is another one where it kind of makes sense, right? Because basically you're taking the Captain America mold, right? And you're just repainting it. It's cool. I think this is neat that they're doing this. And on the heels of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, this is a total no-brainer, right? To do a U.S. agent, classic U.S. agent, a figure. I like this one. And again, one of the shortcomings of this line is that many of the figures do not come with accessories, but this one does. Comes with a shield, just like the Captain America one. And I like the look. I think it's pretty cool. What do you think, Dave? I know you're a U.S. agent fan, so.
Yeah, I dig it. I think that's really cool. Yeah.
And again, you can pick this up once it comes out. I mean, these are not out in the stores yet. We're still seeing Wave 1 and 2 right now in stores. Wave 3 out yet in stores. In fact, I haven't covered Wave 3 at all yet. But Wave 3 I know has been out there and other people have been talking about it. So I just wanted to make sure that I was covering this breaking news because, again, I went to the Hasbro Pulse site and I could not find these images on the Hasbro Pulse site. This is coming directly from this Twitter account that apparently somehow gets access to these images early. So I'm definitely going to be looking at him and scrutinizing him more because I think we can get some breaking news from him on a lot of stuff because it seems like he just has images of all sorts of new stuff coming out. David Motz is in the house, and he says, when you're Tony Stark, you need a suit for the right occasion. That's right. When you're Tony Stark, you need a suit for the right occasion. Totally agree, David. Totally agree. And I'm curious what you think about that variation of the stealth armor Iron Man as well. And again, the thing I really like about these is the price point. I don't think you can find figures any cheaper than this right now. You just can't. This is Loki, of course, is sort of a no-brainer to bring in a very popular character, but this is the classic Loki look. This is the classic Loki, which we haven't really ever, I don't know. I guess in the first movie, he kind of had a resemblance to this, but you don't see Loki, in the MCU really using the classic look of Loki. And this is it. This is a classic look. And even the card back, you can see the artwork. Very much the Loki. If you read the comics, this is Loki. This is your Loki, and I like it. I dig it. I think it's kind of cool because Loki is a very popular character in the MCU. So I think it's kind of a no-brainer for them to make a version for this toy line.
And it makes sense too, because you got the Loki series that's getting ready to come out as well.
Exactly.
And a lot of people are excited about that. It makes a lot of sense. And one of my favorite scenes actually in the first Avengers movie is actually a scene between Cap and Loki. And it's that part where Loki is he's got all those people and he's kind of threatening them, and they're all kind of like kneeling down, and that one man stands up in defiance. It's a really powerful scene. And then Cap shows up and he says, "The last time I saw a man said like standing over other men, we disagreed."
Right.
And it's a great scene between Cap and Loki. I remember in the movie theater, I was just like jumping with joy watching Cap take on Loki. I thought I was like, wow, I never thought I'd see something like this. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So that's neat.
That was and then we've also got the Black Spider-Man, the Black Spider-Man suit.
Yeah.
Again, this is kind of a no-brainer because you've got the mold. They have the classic Spider-Man. I have that. Well, I don't have it in my collection anymore because I gave it to one of my daughters, but we do have it in the household. So it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and make another version of this. It's kind of a no-brainer, but it looks good. I think it looks really cool.
And point of order too, one of the, I don't know if it's still as valuable as it once was, but one of the most valuable action figures actually from the Secret Wars toy line from back in the day was actually the black suit Spider-Man. And it was the same thing. It was just a repaint of the other Spider-Man figure, but it was really popular. And for the longest time, I know that's the one that a lot of collectors were actually trying to seek out from the Secret Wars toy line.
Yeah, I know. I remember growing up, in that time period, and the only Secret Wars figure I had was Cap, and I think I still have him somewhere. I would like to find him and show him on the air. He's probably not in very good condition at this point, but I remember the Black Spider-Man became very popular at that time, very, very popular. And I'll be honest with you, I like the classic look. That's what I prefer, but I do like the look of this figure, and I think again it's a no-brainer for Hasbro to do because they've already got the mold. So why not just repaint it and give people something extra that I'm sure that they want. A lot of collectors are going to want this figure. And then the last one we have here, which I think is almost like the best for we saved the best for last, is the Storm figure. This figure is gorgeous. This figure is absolutely gorgeous, and to think that this is basically, like I said, this is basically like having one of those Star Wars Kenner figures from the late 70s or 80s, but this is a Marvel version, and this is Storm, which I think she actually looks better than any Princess Leia figure that I remember seeing growing up in that era. This is a really cool looking figure. This is the classic look of Storm to me. This is the way Storm is supposed to look in my mind, even more so than what I was most familiar with, which is like the 90s cartoon version, kind of like the white outfit. To me, this is really the more iconic outfit to me. I really don't like that outfit as much as I like this one. This one I really like. I think this is the classic look of the character. I think guys for sure will like this. You know what I mean? Like, this is a definitely kind of figure that a guy would like to have hanging on his wall or something like that, or put in his display case. It's just a very, very cool looking figure to me. And I think this is one that, as far as in a speculative standpoint, I think it's also going to almost immediately go up in value. You're going to see it like where, on eBay, it's going for like at least double the price. You know what I mean? Like very quickly. I don't have a date. In fact, in the thread over here on the side, they did respond because people were asking about when we think these are going to come out. And he did respond and say that he has a press release, but it doesn't say when they're going to be coming out. So at this point, we don't know. I haven't seen Wave 3, which I do need to talk about in a future episode. But I haven't seen Wave 3 in stores either. I'm still kind of looking for Wave 1 and 2 stuff. So I haven't seen Wave 3 in stores yet. that is another one that I think we'll be talking about possibly on the next episode. So maybe I'll bring that up, Wave 3. But this stuff is basically breaking news in the collector's world for the Kenner Marvel Legends line, Wave 4.
Yeah, that Storm figure looks absolutely great. And if it is always like they used to do back in the day, where they would, short pack, the female figures, basically meaning it's like you buy a case of figures, right? And they give you so many of this character, so many of this character, so many of this character. The female characters were always the ones that were short packed, meaning you might only get one copy. You might be lucky to get two, depending upon the size of the case of figures that you ordered. If you were, putting them out on pegs, right, or selling them, so this is the kind of figure that would be already kind of, difficult to find because it wouldn't have the same, manufacturing run that the other figures would have. And that is a great looking Storm. Definitely the classic Dave Cockrum, costume. Just really, really, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, I want to mention there are places you can get the boxes. Like I think Entertainment Earth, like will sell you a box. And I was looking at one of the Wave 1 or Wave 2 boxes, and I remember the assortment basically the way it was. Most of the figures, it was just one in a pack, but then they had like I think two of the figures, which I think if I remember right, it's the ones you would think like there's two Spidermans, in a box, you know what I mean, or there's two Hulks in a box or something like that. Then the other characters, it's one. So there are certain characters that are going to be more plentiful, but they're not doing the Jonathan Frakes thing. Anybody who remembers the Galoob Star Trek kind of fiasco of the Galoob figures, which I have some of those in my collection, the Jonathan Frakes Riker figure was just way overproduced. I remember actually going to toy stores and there would be almost a wall filled of Riker figures. And the infamous story is that it was so bad, and Jonathan Frakes talks about this and how bad this was for his ego. They were giving these figures away at conventions, stuff like that, because they just couldn't sell them. And then the other part of that line is they had other figures, that were super the alien figures, like Q. They had these two weird aliens that only appeared in one episode of all of Star Trek, and for whatever reason they made them. They had a Ferengi, which of course Ferengi are much more popular, but they had these two random aliens. Those ones were like super hard to find. So it was one of those class blunder. Okay, I'm going to get the collection. Who are they supposed to fight? Because I can't find any of the freaking aliens, But with this line, it doesn't seem to be anywhere near that bad. I think they've again. This is from what I saw with the assortment, because I was looking at one of the buying. If you wanted to buy a box online, they do have like two maybe of a popular character, and then it's one for the rest. So it's not that bad. You know what I mean in terms of assortments.
Yeah, back in the 90s, I had some friends, and what we would do, because we were action figure collectors, and what we used to do back in the day is we would all kick in and buy a case, as a group. And then we would, predetermine how we were going to break it up, and depending upon how many there was, there would be those couple of figures where there was just one of this one, one of that one. And usually there was someone who was a big enough fan that, amongst my circle of friends, I went, well, obviously, so-and-so is going to get this one because they're a bigger fan of that than I am, it was kind of the way it usually worked. We didn't have too many squabbles. I think the only time we had squabbles was I can't remember. I think it was the Fantastic Four line. Maybe I'm getting this confused. I know there was a line in the 90s that actually came with Beta Ray Bill, and that was the first time that there was sort of division amongst my friends, because basically all of us wanted the Beta Ray Bill figure, and there was only one in the case. We opened it up. Like, what the hell, man? There's only one Beta Ray Bill?
Yeah,
what the hell?
Toy companies are notorious for that. And I think they've got a lot better with it. I actually did do an order with Entertainment Earth for the Mandalorian retro line, because I wanted the Cara Dune figure, and that's the only way you can get it, because the Cara Dune figures are completely sold out. So I'm happy to say that they did process my payment. It says that it's going to ship June 3rd. So we'll see. So maybe on a future episode, I'll be able to show those Mandalorian retro figures, which, by the way, are more expensive than these figures. Just throwing that out there.
Well, there you go. Cool.